a dope move by Steve.
Yeah. It's a big game. Who you know that got it behind the scenes like behind the O-line soon as the QB say hype? It's big game, big game. Analysis from the player's point of view. Injuries, big trades, player news. Yeah, sector competition, and he play with Tony Dungy. Better listen, I'm talking about Big Game Sports Buzz. Said everything you need and more. Yeah. Big Game Sports Buzz. I thought I told you once before. We call him Big Game James. Yeah, Big Game James. Big Game James.
What's going on, everybody? It is that time of the week. That's right. It's Thursday, and it is time for Big Game Sports Buzz right here on the BGSE Network. Big Game Sports and Entertainment, with sports and entertainment collide on that network. I am the Buff Nerd, Jay Stoggs. Let's go. And of course, I am joined with not the man, the myth, the legend. The reason why this podcast is called what it is, Big Game Sports Buzz, Big Game James. I'm joined by the musicologist, the man himself, A. Reed. What up, guy?
Chilling on it, man. Glad to be here, of course, always representing with the crew. What's good, baby? Let's get it.
What's going on? Of course, Big Game is out there vacating with the fam, so that much deserved and needed vacation for him, for those educators. Salute, we say to you. Make sure that you like, subscribe, and share this podcast with your family, friends, and frenemies, because they need to do something while they ain't hating on you. All right, so make sure you do that. Ring that bell. That way you know when one of these great podcasts are on. Of course, A. Reed is the host of Monday Man Cave on MCXP Radio. I was saying it right. I got it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
It's been a long week. You know what I'm saying? So make sure you check them out on Monday so you can get the latest on what's happening for the culture, in the culture. Okay?
No doubt.
There we go. I think I hit it all. Make sure that you check us out. Also, if you don't want to see these lovely faces, you can also listen to us on your favorite podcast platform, Spotify, Apple Podcast, Amazon Music, all that stuff. We're there. So make sure you can always have a place to check us out. Make sure you also, chat with us, because we'd love to chat with you. I see Big Game is in the house. What up, my dude? What's up, my guy?
What up?
You know what I'm saying? Glad you can join us. Take a little bit of time, you know what I'm saying, from all of that you're doing down there. And I don't want to know. I don't want to know. Just have fun. I know you're probably sleeping. That's what grown folk do when they have kids. You're starting to learn that, Brother Reed, that sleep is it's amazing. It's amazing. It's amazing. It's amazing.
Oh my God. Amazing.
Yeah, for sure. Well, look, we got a lot of things to discuss. Let's go ahead and we go.
Watch that.
First of all, you know what? No, I'm not gonna.
Oh, that just so scandalous.
Let's get into these 4 downs. Man, look, I'm not trying to imagine nobody down there in a thong. Okay, so let's go. That's cool. Ain't trying to imagine nobody in the thong that's in that household right now. So, first down. We kind of talked about this here in BGSB a little earlier when we started to go into the NBA season, right? And the Clippers made some really big trades and some really big moves. Well, of course, the Clippers have clippered, right? This past week, Kawhi Leonard goes down, his back spasms, actually doesn't finish. He not only not finishes the game, but he actually leaves the arena. They fall. I mean, there was a lot of buzz around the Clippers, right? Starting out, and maybe they were going to win the Battle of LA. They were just quietly doing their thing. But can we go ahead and just say that was cute? That was fun for the time being?
I remember a few years back when the Clippers was making moves. I think they had Doc Rivers as the coach, and everybody was on that as well.
Yeah.
What's up, Miss Canada? How you doing?
Hey. A little late. It's all right. We up.
Yeah, I remember everybody was on that bandwagon and thinking, the Clippers are finally about to take over. Look, Clippers are a team that is good that they get their wins.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think anybody really can. I need to know who the true Clippers fans are.
I don't
For
think
me,
there are any.
I think there's a minuscule few that do. Just minuscule few. The diehard Clippers fans that really think that, that little brother is going to ever take over, because Clippers will never be what the Lakers are.
Wow.
Oh, they'll never be, bro. Come on.
Wow.
Come on. They'll never be, man. Never be. No championships
Never?
coming anytime soon. Nothing like that, bro. They'll never have the lore and the mystique that the Lakers have and hold and whatnot. And I feel like this is just a reoccurring thing, man. Just a reoccurring thing. I think maybe sometime down the line, once LeBron is gone, because the Lakers did have that weak, sorry team. At one point in time before they did rebuild. Maybe at some point in time they can take over. Maybe eventually. I was looking at their record. They're still 41 and 23, so they're still in a good, still in a good way.
Yeah.
But does anybody ever really put trust in the Clippers like that?
I don't know. And there you go. Good question. Can we trust the Clippers? Denver, the team in the West, and I don't know if Denver is actually the true team in the West. Now you may say, "Well, Jay, who are you looking at in the West?" No, it's not the Lakers, right? But I have to believe I'm starting to see. I don't know. It's something about Denver I just can't fully trust, and I've seen what they've been doing, but it's just. And no, I don't have. And you're right, Reed. The West is kind of clumped together. Yeah, Denver seems to be the odds are in favor, but I don't know how long this goes.
Bob, I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this, G-Star.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying this because I'm a homer.
Why not?
If Dallas actually if they got it super together. If it was just super just together the way that it needed to be. J Kidd was making the right choices, putting the right people out there. I'm saying after they made the trades and everything, Dallas could damn sure be a sleeper team in the West. I'm just for real. They really could, bro.
So here's the problem with what you just said and where I think they fail. If Kidd can make the best decisions, and when we talk about that, it's about rotations. Kidd can coach good players up, but his rotations are god awful. And to me, that's why they just won't be there. And I think that's why you see the Clippers still in the position they're in. Dallas can make a very good run to stick at 6, and that would be great for them because they don't have to, play the play-in. They can, figure out some other things as they're waiting. Hopefully someone grabs Kidd and says, "Hey, I got the rotations. You just coach him up."
That'd be lovely.
Right. But I think he's going to be the detriment. I think he's the detriment of this team right now and where it is because he just can't do that. But Clippers, man, yeah, the Clippers are still the Clippers, and they're gonna clip.
Yeah, clip those wings, guys.
Yeah.
Minnesota. Have you seen the new logo that they have?
I thought it was the same one with the LAC and
no, the new logo is like it's like a ship or something like that.
Yeah, I'm out. I'm out. I get it, but I'm out. For that reason, I'm out.
I'm just saying.
Oh my God!
Last time I was out there in Cali, I saw where they was building that stadium.
You know what?
I'm interested to see what that stadium is going to be like.
Stop talking about my Mavs, especially when they beat up on your Lakers. You're gonna stop that. And I'm still waiting on my lunch. You know what I'm saying? The new logo is trash.
I love her. I love Miss Canada. She's awesome.
It is because
Mavs choke again. The new logo. Yeah. Yes, it's trash, but please, we're not talking about the Lakers right now.
Because they're cheeks. That's my new phrase that I just learned. Cheeks.
They're cheeks.
They're cheeks. Oh man, let's get to this second down. And it's kind of interesting. I was talking to some people this past week, especially about, March Madness championship week is here, right? But one thing that's very interesting is I think the women's March Madness is more exciting than the men's. So that my question is the men's this year, the March Madness for men's basketball, are you getting excited about it?
Yes and no.
I think that's fair. I think that's a fair answer.
I will give you that the women's has been quite exciting.
Yes.
Very, very exciting.
Yes.
Some must-see games and girls is out there balling. I think shout out to South Carolina most def. And Don Staley. I love what Don Staley is doing. I love what Don is doing down there.
They like to bully though. They're bullies.
Yeah. And even that coach for LSU, she does a good job.
Oh, Mulkey? Yeah. Mulkey ain't no joke.
She does a good job.
She like controversy. What the women's? Yes, more exciting.
Yeah, but women is definitely more exciting right now at this point.
Absolutely.
I usually don't pay attention to the men's in March Madness until we get down to probably like the Sweet 16. There's just way too many teams to just kind of just pay attention to. Usually when it hits about that Sweet 16 spot, that's when my focus kind of gets down and seeing who's the cream of the crop.
But see, here's what I've said before is that you don't have players staying around long enough to invest in them for the program.
True.
You know what I mean? So like, you could say, in the women's, you already know who's going to be in the Final Four: Iowa, South Carolina, LSU, UConn. Maybe. I don't know about Iowa. And I've said that. I don't know about Iowa. Iowa has one player. They have Caitlin Clark and then the rest of the team, and that's it. Mm-hmm. So I could see Iowa actually being defeated. I like Texas. And that's not being a homer. They got an awesome freshman down there. I think they got a good squad going for them. So I can definitely see that. I think there's potential upsets. I want to see LSU play South Carolina again. Because it's about stories, right? It's about storylines. So the thing about the men's game, you would have Duke and North Carolina, Kansas, U of H. Hey, whose house? Cook's house. Put a whooping on Kansas like none I've ever seen. And Sampson has got them boys playing. Like they beat TCU tonight. They avenged the loss that they had earlier in the season. But I'm telling you, man, it's something to watch. USC, okay, if we talk about women's, because it ain't men's, even though they've had some pretty big wins here lately, I think they're starting to kind of figure it out. Juju don't sleep. Okay. But no, it's been I don't know if I'm excited just because of my team, but overall, no, I'd rather. I'm waiting on the women's to get started, to see the storylines, to see who's going to come up and come through. And I think you'll have some Cinderellas there, some teams that you're like, that are not LSU, Iowa, South Carolina, and UConn. Like UConn has been quiet for at least 4 or 5 years now.
Yeah, man, it ain't the same UConn as it used to be back in the Gap, dog.
No, it's not.
It's not the same UConn.
No, and again, as I've always stated, you have to have villains in order to have heroes, and that makes great stories. Yeah. And now you get to choose who's the villain and who's the hero in this LSU, South Carolina, and Iowa. Iowa is going to be the golden child, right?
Yeah, we know what that's
the baby face. But there's some people who are like, take them down. Who cares? Take them down. It's going to be good. I'm very, very excited about seeing that. Yeah. Third down. This is a homer for me, and let me just go and get down with this, man. Free agency has come and is started winding down here, right? We've began the new NFL season has officially started this past Monday.
True.
There was one team, one organization, one franchise that decided, we don't really have to jump in and do anything major. Not really.
And number team, but
actually, no. This is the only team in the first 2 days of free agency that did absolutely nothing. They did not sign any free agents outside of their building. And that would be America's team, the one Dallas Cowboys.
I was wondering about that too, bro.
Yeah.
I was wondering about that too. Like, I'll be pulling the Bleacher Report and everything like that.
Yeah.
I was wondering about that. I swore I was gonna see some Dallas Cowboy news and stuff pop up.
Yeah.
Nothing ever popped up.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I hear you. Been there, done that. LSU, South Carolina, but that's why they're legit. Haven't seen USC in a while though. But hey, shout out South to Southern California. Go Lady Trojans. Look, I can tell you. So here's the question: does Jerry Jones care more about the Dallas Cowboys brand or the fans? Does he care more about the brand than the fans? You know what? I began. Oh my gosh, Cat Williams, hey,
40.
You know what? At this point, thanks, Aisha. Yeah, thanks. I appreciate that. Cowboys did nothing against free agents, so they're going to say, you know what? I asked the question though. What say you, Avery? Because we're gonna get all kind of comments about.
Yeah, we got a hell of a lot of comments on this.
But what do you think? Do you think he cares more about the brand or the fans?
It's obvious, Stocks. It's obvious. It's obvious, man. The brand has always been more.
Yeah.
The brand has always been more above the actual players. I think when the brand and the championships come at the same time, it's like the icing on the cake for the Dallas Cowboys. You see what I'm saying? But from that's why to me it'll be so hard to be a Cowboys fan.
Man.
Especially somebody that's like diehard and wants to see the squad wins, because it's like the stuff that you have to put up with every single year. That's why, like, every time that I would hear Cowboys fans be like, "Oh, we going to the Super Bowl,"
I know this
every year. Man, just leave it alone, man. Just leave it alone, because it's not.
They do best nothing. Yeah.
It's not going nowhere, man. The brand has always been the staple. That's like if I'm not mistaken, the Cowboys are probably like, if not the highest or one of the highest brands
the
in the whole
highest
completely
sports
world.
franchise.
Sports franchise. You see what I'm saying?
The
So
highest.
that tells you right there, bro. That tells you right there. The brand is so much more important than what he's putting out there on the field, which is very sad, man.
Right.
Very, very
I'm going
sad.
to tell you what's happening here locally. Okay. The reason why I put this in here I'm going to do some more on this on the final Cowboys cutting up. But I got a phone call from a person who I call I call him Pops, right? And I've known him very long time through thick and thin. And usually after the Cowboy season, we cry on each other's shoulders. He called me this week and he said, I need you to talk me off the ledge. I need you to help me understand or not be this upset. And I had to reply to him. I said, Pops, I cannot. I can't do it. It has gotten to a point now where people are talking about, they probably won't do it, but they're talking about actually boycotting Cowboys games and not purchasing Cowboys gear. I am one of those. I'm done. I can't do it. I can't do it anymore. I'm done.
But it's a million and some odd people that's still gonna support regardless.
Oh, absolutely. And you know what? Good for them. Go ahead and do it. But my little old, $200-$300 a year that I would spend on new gear for myself, my son, I'm not buying. I'm out. He can
Let
go.
me ask you, man. Let me ask you, as a true diehard Cowboys fan, because I know how you feel about it, man.
Diehard, yes.
What is the biggest? I want to hear from a fan, bro. Like, what is the biggest gripe about this squad, man?
Being lied to for the past 30 years. That's what it is. It's saying things like we're all in and you just let players walk out the door. There was a report today that Derrick Henry was waiting on a phone call from the Dallas Cowboys.
I heard about that.
He was waiting on the phone call and no one reached out to him. To me, that says it all. That says it all.
Y'all let Tony Pollard go to Tennessee.
Listen, you franchise tagged him last year, and I'm screaming you shouldn't do that. He is not the dude. He's not the guy. He's not. And they're going to find out. They're going to find out. Oh, no. I'm still a Dallas Cowboys fan, but I am not going to invest in the Dallas Cowboys any longer. Definitely not my money. And we'll have to see about my time. I'm going to find other things to do on Sundays. Or Mondays or whenever they play. Whenever they play, I'm going to find some. I can't do it. They drugged me in this past season and broke my heart per usual. I will not do it. And I will not. Look, I forced my son to be a Cowboys fan. I'm not doing that. He can be a fan of whomever he wants. I don't care. I don't care. So, done. It's it. But yeah, I'm not alone though.
Oh no, I'm sure you're not, man. I'm sure you're not.
There are lots of us like that.
I think you got a valid point. I mean, I can even only speak from being a Bengals fan from all the many years of people dogging me for being a Bengals fan.
Yeah.
Bungles, and you guys never get to, you know what I'm saying, and finally see them actually make moves and get to where they have this recent success. Shit. I'm glad that we're actually in conversations now, winning championships. I understand that.
Sure.
To me, the most logical person, and it's funny because you could be like, shit, man, I could be on Madden and making this damn Cowboys team great every year. and it's not like Dallas hasn't had talent over the years. I mean, we live in DFW, bro.
Yeah.
It's not like Dallas hasn't had talent over the years in every position and whatnot. Hell, I'm even with you. I thought last year was going to be very different. It was set up for success, bro.
Hadn't lost the game at home. You have home field advantage throughout the playoffs, except when you meet the Niners. But again, I'll tell you what else, Reed, and we're gonna go to the fourth down, man, because we gotta get the rest of this right. But when you have Tank Lawrence talk about at the end of the season, they were just tired. Regular season, it was just tired, right? They tired. It's a culture thing, man. It's just a culture thing. Again, it just you don't want it, that's fine. Let's move on. I'm gonna get real irate. Fourth down. This past weekend, UFC saw a big bump and let's see, I think it was middleweight, bantamweight. Big fight they had this past weekend, the sugar dude with the hair.
Yeah.
That guy. Anyway, the question is UFC a legitimate must-watch sport? Has it become a legitimate must-watch sport?
I watch more boxing than I watch UFC.
Okay.
No disrespect to it, but I will say this. It's something about UFC, man. It's just too goddamn brutal. It's just it's just brutal, brother. Like, to be able to not only use fists and legs, but you can use knees and elbows, and headbutts, and
true fighting,
chokeholds, and you know what I'm saying? It's like, it's something. Now, don't get me wrong. When it's certain people like John Jones, when he fights, I tend to pay attention to that. Stylebender? He's good. A couple of guys, man. It's cool to watch, man. Especially when Nagano used to be in it. Even Rampage, all them guys, Iceman. I used to watch all of that stuff back in the day. But I don't know, just something about boxing to me is just a lot better than the UFC. I just feel like it's more of a fair deal with boxing, across the world.
That's interesting.
This is hit or be hit technical. All we using is fist. I kind of just like that. It's something about when I'm up there in the ring in UFC. I'm up there, and then all of a sudden, here come a flying kneecap. God,
and I know what you're talking about, Big Game. Yeah, must watch. Don't know if it's must watch, but it's neck to neck with boxing now. I can agree with that. I can agree with the fact that you now have household names in UFC when really it was kind of, done in a basement somewhere. And you had, like you said, you had your big stars that were doing it, but the reality of it, like your Solios and like you said, your Rampages and those guys. But now you have different weight classes where people know who they are just by, their look. They have brands. Conor McGregor has definitely, exploded on that scene because of it. Ronda Rousey has exploded on that. And there are others that have exploded onto the scene because of UFC and what it has done. People are paying to watch it. People are talking with each other like, hey, are you going to go watch this fight? Are you going to watch this this event? And so I think now when you start having celebrities talk about it as well and legitimizing it, that legitimizes it. So I think UFC, I don't know if it's a must watch right now, but I agree with Big Game where he's saying, it's definitely neck and neck with boxing. Boxing doesn't have, in my opinion, those must-watch boxers.
No, the only reason that boxing isn't like that is because these guys ain't making the necessary fights that people want to see in boxing.
That's true. I'll
agree
with
you. You know what I'm saying? Canelo ain't fighting Benavidez. You know what I'm saying?
I agree with you on that because they're scared.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's those necessary fights. You know, Spence ain't getting that rematch with Crawford that everybody wants to see. You know,
I agree with that.
These fights ain't being made, so that's why UFC can come up and kind of be neck and neck. You got people in boxing that can make damn good fights and can bring in some draws, but they not making the fights that people want to see. So,
but
you know,
I'm gonna put this out. I'm gonna put this out there to you as well, and I don't know how much you agree with it or not, but I think it also is due to the fact that you don't have a great heavyweight class of fighters.
That can, yeah.
I think boxing goes the way of the heavyweight. If you don't have a good heavyweight class of boxers, like you need to have a legit, 4 or 5 boxers in the heavyweight class division to say, okay, at any time that can come up and possibly win.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I can agree with you on that.
Yeah.
Fury is. Man.
And Fury is not fun to watch. He's not exciting to watch.
It was cool to watch his trilogy with Wilder.
You know why? Say why. You know why. Why was that? Why was it?
It was cool to watch, man. Because
why?
Wilder had the one-hit punch.
That's it.
That's
it. People watch boxing for knockouts, not for technicality, not for finesse. That is Tyson Fury, right? He's finesse, even as a bit, and that's they always say, oh, he's so finesse for a big guy. He can move. He has great hands for a big guy. Nobody wants to see that. Nobody wants to see that. That's why a lot of people don't go and watch bantamweights, even though they're great and they knock people out all the time.
Yeah.
Right. And featherweights, guess what? They knock people out a lot.
Yeah.
But they don't watch it because it's like, right? Because a lot of them are finesse guys. Canelo is not knocking people out. He's going 12 rounds. And who wants to sit around for 12 rounds? Nobody.
True.
Nobody wants to see that.
True.
Nobody wants to see that. So
I feel you, man. I think in the end, I even think your true heavyweight champion right now should be Joshua. It should be Joshua.
You know what? On that note, that just makes me.
Oh, hell no! 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 Oh, hell no!
Oh, hell no.
That's right. This is the portion of the podcast where we find things that happen throughout the week, or people say things that make us say, oh, hell no. There was a lot of stuff that happened from the past podcast to this one that I wrote down, but I'm just going to give you 2. The first one, I'm going to go kind of backwards from what I told you, but the first one, this gentleman right here, Trayvon Milton, who was arrested and charged with third-degree assault and battery. Now, you may not know who that is, but you have seen him on video. He's the gentleman who was the brother of the South Carolina, LSU girl that was 5'10", Johnson, who was pushed by the South Carolina, basketball player that was, I don't know, like 9 feet tall. She wasn't. She's 6'10", but still 6'8". Sorry, 6'8". But he's the one that actually jumped over. So the story is, or the allegations are, as they were fighting, Johnson gets pushed. Trayvon Milton allegedly pushed down on the head of an attendant that was working, stepped on them, lifted himself over the barricade to get to the floor.
I didn't see all that.
Yeah, well.
I didn't see all that in that video, but I did see him come down and get up on that on the court.
Yeah, he did.
To try to help defend his sister, but he got third-degree assault?
Third-degree assault and battery. That's what he's being charged with.
What?
He's being charged with it.
Yeah, oh hell no. Yo, what?
First of all,
I guess
stay your ass in the stands. I get it. That's your sister. That's your baby sister. I get it. But
I guess, man. I guess. If you can give me third-degree assault, at least let me punch him.
No. You put your hands on put your hands on him and you hopping over Big Wallace.
Big Wallace, what's up, man?
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Third-degree assault for putting his hand on and basically lifting himself. Oh yeah. Stepping on her and getting onto the court.
That's ridiculous.
Hey, there you go. This next one, no, I'm gonna keep it going. This final one, apparently, douche Dodgers has become even more douchier. Okay, for those who don't know,
that'd be funny, dog.
Yeah, a little leverage. If you don't know who I'm referring to, douche Dodgers is actually also or more well known as Aaron Rodgers, but should be known as douche Dodgers. Apparently, he is being considered for the vice president ticket with Robert F. Kennedy Jr. I mean, what are we doing? Not only is Robert F. Kennedy Jr. considering douche Dodgers, he's also considering Jesse the Body Ventura.
Now I know Ventura has had some kind of political.
He was a governor of Minnesota.
The governor, I know that much.
He was governor of Minnesota. Yeah, let him fight. Sit down.
See, and see, this can go a bad way. This can go a very bad way. The way that we can talk about this, we can get real political. It can get bad.
You know? No, we don't even have to get political. How about this? He's still the quarterback of the New York Jets.
Okay, and Donald Trump was a
no,
or is a.
I get that. He would be campaigning as he's playing quarterback for the New York Jets.
I understand. But obviously, I mean, but you've seen the qualifications of a person that can run for office.
True.
You know what I'm saying?
True.
Anybody can pretty much run for office, and if they get enough backing behind them, it's shit. Me and you could run for office if
we could. We can. You know? 35 American. That's it. But it's douche Dodgers. He won't win, but it's just the fact that he's even being considered for that. It's
why? It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense at all.
We already know he ain't getting my vote so there you go. That's one less.
But if Trump can do it, hey.
It's douche Dodgers, bro.
I'm just saying. Trump can do it, anybody can do it. So people, if you want to run the United States, get that money behind you.
Oh man, let's go ahead. Let's get into this between the lines and talk some free agency. That is wild to me. Listen, there have been moves, not by the Cowboys, but there have been so many big moves thus far. 3 days into the new league year. Let's start it with this. What's the biggest move you've seen thus far to legitimize a team? The biggest move thus far to legitimize a team. When I say legitimize, to make them, a real contender. Let's say playoff contender.
Playoff contender.
Yeah. And
your biggest one. Your biggest one, if we're saying playoff contender.
Yes.
I would have to say maybe Kirk going to Atlanta.
Okay.
Kirk Cousins going to Atlanta.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Not saying Kirk. I mean, Kirk can get you to the playoffs. Now going over that hump, I don't know, but Kirk can get you to the playoffs. He can. He can.
To the playoffs, okay. Out of all the moves that have been made, yes.
You saying playoffs.
Playoffs.
We're not saying championship. Yeah.
Championship.
I ain't saying championship.
To the playoffs, yeah. And I think you're correct, because out of all the moves, that's probably the biggest one for a team that really didn't have playoff. I can't even say playoff success. They were not going to the playoffs, especially with Ritter.
We don't know.
As their quarterback.
I know Wallace happy. Yeah.
You know what? That's a great question, Wallace. Are you happy about the move or the Kirk Cousins signing? Because here's what I would say about that. Kirk Cousins is going to get you a lot of yards. He's definitely going to ensure that your pass catcher that you got down there in Pitts, he's gonna make some yards. He's gonna get some yards. He'll get some touchdowns, but he won't show up in those big games. And that's been the knock on Kirk Cousins his career, right? He loves
those big games. We'll get you those big games, but that motherfucker's smart when it comes to contracts.
Hey, listen, big games to me something where he's gotten paid more than Brady. He's gotten paid more over his career than Tom Brady has. And Tom Brady is the greatest quarterback of all time. There's no argument here. He is.
I'm with you.
Right? So to have Kirk Cousins there, yeah, that's very strange to me, man. Well, it's not strange. I agree with your assessment. Okay. And I don't think there's any other team in the moves that they've made thus far, or moves they could make at this point, to say, okay, yeah. Are you surprised that the Bears have not floated out or have received anything for Justin Fields yet?
No, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised at it. I think what the Bears are doing they want to dish him out and dangle, dangle him and see what kind of traction he can get. But the fact of the matter is that if they do that and they get rid of Justin Fields, then they have to basically start all over again. And they have to start all over again and hopefully get a quarterback through this draft. You know what I'm saying? That can get on the field and do what Fields has already done. I've never thought that. I personally never thought that it was Fields. I thought it was the coaching and what he had around him. Same as Bryce in Carolina.
Yeah.
Just doesn't have nothing. You know what I'm saying? So you put these guys out on the field their first years and you want them to, you have these high expectations and then they don't deliver.
Well, yeah.
You make them the fallout guy because they just can't get the system right, or this is that and the third. It's hard for me to believe. To me, Fields is one of those guys that, if traded to a decent enough squad, I believe that he could. I believe that he can make some noise somewhere.
Yeah. Quick, while saying Kirk was the right fit, familiar with the offense because the Vikings head coach came from the McVay tree. Look, he's better than Ritter. I think that's all you need to say there. Maybe Fields is their guy. Maybe. So holding cards close to the vest to say, you know what, we're going to wait until the draft or right before the draft to see how much we can get for him. I think the Bears are going to keep Fields. I want to believe that, but there's something in me that just says no. Because Eberflus is still there, right?
Yo, Wallace, you for real?
Just traded for Keenan Allen. Oh, for a 4th round pick.
Wow.
Okay.
If they're making moves like that, then they're keeping Fields, bro. They making moves like that, they're keeping Fields. They're keeping
maybe.
Fields. This will be Fields last year as a prove that you are the guy.
But you know what though? Here's what I also can see, because this is what I'm seeing in Tennessee, right? With with getting Ridley. So when you look at Tennessee's receiving core, they have Ridley, they have D-Hop, right? And who else? They got another receiver down there. It's three legit receivers, veteran receivers around Will Levis.
Mm-hmm.
So when you have veteran receivers around a young quarterback, and they think, Pollard is going to help them, but he's more of a receiving back.
Mm-hmm.
That, to me, that is going to help that young quarterback. I can see that move for Caleb Williams. I can also see it for Justin Fields. But yeah, they traded for they had to trade for O-lineman because their O-line, they have a lot of holes in the Chicago Bears. Their O-linemen, their defensive backs, they got a lot of places to fill. You have to show up that O-lineman or their O-line. If it's for the Chicago Bears, and we're talking about Justin Fields, I think what you do, you still have not traded in a 4th and a 5th round for aging receiver Keenan Allen. And I say aging with all due respect. He's still a veteran, and he's going to get you good yards, good hands, solid, right? An old lineman to shore up the defense, because you want to, protect your greatest commodity, which is your quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Again, that can still go to Caleb Williams, because as you just stated, Bryce Young over in Carolina just getting killed. And that's, to me, that's every rookie quarterback that's taken 1st or 2nd. There's a reason why that team is 1st or 2nd pick overall.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
I agree.
It's because they're trash. They're cheeks, and their quarterback is cheeks. So, Big Aim believes that as well. Yeah, I think they go for Caleb Williams, because if you keep Justin Fields for one more year, right, and your cheeks again, I'm looking at the quarterbacks that are coming out or possibly coming out this next year.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think the class is as good as you may want it to be, or this class right here. Right now, they're talking there are 6 legitimate 1st-round quarterbacks in this season or in this draft.
Who has the 1st pick this year in the draft?
Chicago Bears. Yeah.
I think
got Washington right behind them.
I think that they do pick up a quarterback. They can pick up the Caleb Williams.
Mm-hmm.
But they keep Fields, and it's like, Fields, you got half a season. You got like half a season. You got like 4 games, say at least. Have a winning record in 4 games.
That's tough.
Prove, kind of prove to us that, and if it's not that, Caleb, you in there. You about to be
before first. Now wait a minute. Now hold on now. 1st overall pick, and he's in a competition with your starting QB.
If they can't find anything if they can't find any trade value, and it seems like the Bears can't find any trade value for Fields. They can't find it right now.
Yeah, and I think that's and while so they only have 4 picks left in the draft with these 2 moves, so now they need to trade out of the 1st pick to get more draft picks. Yes, I can see that. And here's the other thing too. You have to also look around the league to see who needs quarterbacks, starting quarterbacks.
Mm-hmm.
Washington, Denver.
But all of those teams are going to be picking from the draft. I think they got whoever they want circle of who they're gonna pick
Definitely.
in the draft. So you need
Definitely.
to look probably down a little way.
Vegas is going to look for one. They just asked Garoppolo. He's gone. So that's 3. We just said there's 6, right? With Bo Nix and Penix, and the kid from LSU who won the Heisman. I mean, look, that's 3 right there. We haven't even talked about Caleb Williams. That's 4. So,
like Giants should look at him.
North Carolina, yeah, the kid from North Carolina. So, May, and then you still have the kid from Michigan, JJ.
Yeah.
And and I think the kid from I don't think it's Alabama, but those are the 6 right there.
Yeah.
Those are the 6. So
you can look at the draft order and pretty much tell which teams are going to pick up a quarterback. So they need to start looking at if the Bears are going to make a trade, I think they need to look at the lower half of the draft of what teams could possibly use a quarterback.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And try to dangle it from there, try to get maybe some draft pick compensations or something like that. You know, maybe even add a draft pick with it, with Fields.
I agree with you, Wallace. The longer they keep Fields, the less they're going to get for him in a trade, which
if they're going to do it, they need to hurry up and do it.
Right, which goes back to your point. They're going to keep him, trade out of the first to get more picks to shore up the offensive line, get some help on defense, as well as get some receivers in there. It's not a good running back class as well. So I think they said the highest running back that could be taken, or should be taken, is like 3rd round.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So this is a offensive line, wide receiver heavy draft. And so you're going to see a lot of offensive linemen go out in the 1st and 2nd rounds. Obviously, your QBs will be going out and receivers there. So,
you know what, man? I'm looking at all the standings.
Yeah.
Of all the teams.
Yeah.
And looking at the teams that need the quarterbacks.
Mm-hmm.
Bears look like they damn near stuck. No, real talk, bro. Real talk.
Yeah.
Because all the other teams are probably going to draft them a quarterback. Patriots going to draft them a quarterback, I'm pretty sure. You know.
Yep, they got rid of Mac Jones, yeah.
You know, Carolina doesn't have to do it because they got one. I don't know if Cardinals necessarily do it because they still got.
They got Kyler Murray, but yeah, they might.
But the Commanders.
Washington will, yes.
Giants, maybe.
The Giants might, yeah.
You know.
I don't think they go in the 1st round. I think they're going to try and help out Daniel Jones.
The Broncos definitely will.
Broncos will, yes.
I can see the Jets doing it.
Yeah, I could because I could.
You know,
I could see that.
It's a number of teams, man. So,
and like I said, we talked about Vegas. We talked about Vegas.
Yeah.
You know, and so I think you have to really look at this and say, wait a minute, Bears, what are you doing? Yeah. What are you doing? Yeah. What are you doing? But hey, man, that's going to bring us now into one of our favorite segments. Of course, that is.
Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go.
That's right. Some people have a top 100. Some have a top 50. Some have a top 25. Some even punk out and have a top 10, but not here. Not on Big Game Sports Buzz on BGSC Network. No, top 5. Who's in, who's out, what's in, what's out. You got to pick. No, that's right. Ain't no honorable mentions here. Tonight's topic, top 5 wrestling matches of all time. Of course, I have the musicologist here, A. Reed, who is a fan as well as myself. This is going to be fun. This is going to be fun. Make sure that yours in the chat as well. Love to see what you got to say. For sure. A. Reed, if you're ready, I'll let you go. If not, since you're the guest, I'll go ahead and go. I got my top 5 set. I'm ready to hit it, man.
Look, man, I'm not gonna lie, bro. Hit it, because I mean, you hit me at the last minute with it, so I really wasn't able to prepare for this
All
one.
good.
But I will backdoor with you, and I know there are some ones that will pop up in the head as we do this.
There you go. Legitimize it for me. Legitimize.
I'm with you. Let's go.
Let's see. For me, I never do mine in any particular order. I just name it off because that's just the way I am. For me, this was a very big one because these were two superstars who were at one point in time friends turned enemies.
Okay.
And that was the Hogan Macho Man match, WrestleMania 5.
Okay.
Elizabeth was with Macho Man, and then all of a sudden something happened. Something where she was like, you know what, I'm with Hogan now. And now you got Macho Man. Oh, Hogan. It's you.
Oh, yeah.
Elizabeth. And I don't like. Oh, man, it was fantastic, bro. Hogan versus Macho Man, WrestleMania 5. Definitely one of those that I said, oh, yeah, this is it. Yeah. And it's funny because Hogan is like a lot of these for me. Hollywood Hulk Hogan versus The Rock. This is WrestleMania 18, man. It kind of, to me, is like the passing of the torch for me, the passing of, one legitimate star over to the next. You didn't want to see Hogan wrestle like that because it was rough, but it was one of those matches where it's like, okay, all right, The Rock is the real legit dude. He's taking over, right? And there's no question there. So definitely Hollywood Hogan versus The Rock, WrestleMania 18. The year previous to that, Stone Cold versus The Rock in the no disqualification match.
Classic.
WrestleMania 17. Listen, if you haven't seen this match, go watch it. It is everything. For sure. Let's see. This one is a personal favorite for me because I love both of these wrestlers. This was Sting versus Flair in the Great American Bash of 1990. Now, some of you may not have watched this, okay?
Okay.
But if you go into the golden age of wrestling in the 80s and early 90s, this is when WCW was real legit. Who was in WCW? You had people like Vader and Sting and the Full Horsemen, Ric Flair, Arn Anderson, Ollie Anderson, right?
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like that was, you had Dusty Rhodes, the American Dream was in WCW, man. So like this was a territory that was mainly based in Georgia. You had some great wrestlers coming out of there. This was one of those that you said, okay, this is it, right? And this is what Sting had, the blonde hair and it was all up, and he had like the surfer, and oh man, it was fantastic.
Yeah.
Finally, this is to me one of those matches where it's like it brings you from the old school wrestling match, black and white, into WWE of, oh wow, this is amazing. Andre the Giant versus Hulk Hogan, WrestleMania 3. This is the WrestleMania where Hulk Hogan body slams Andre the Giant.
Everybody goes crazy. How is he doing? How did he pick him up?
No one has ever body slammed Andre the Giant.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. One that I can definitely say, Undertaker and Mankind. Where he threw him off the top of that cage.
I can still see the image of him bleeding through the
craziness.
Absolutely.
WCW though, man. And I know you older than me, man. But I was definitely there to see that height of with WCW.
Yeah.
And WWF was kind of like feuding. But WCW had a roster.
Oh my God.
And I mean the storyline, man, I swear to God, I tuned in so much to that WCW. man, because they had the Monday Nitro. It just,
yes,
man,
sir.
it was on and popping, and I was able to see. I mean, I witnessed, you know, the whole Goldberg introduction and him having his undefeated streak. I remember, man, seeing what's my man Kevin Nash and all rest in peace. You know, coming out and with the NWO and then making the Wolfpack, and then, man, it was great stuff, bro.
Sweet,
great stuff, man.
And look, there's a lot of other, and like I said, it's top 5. So, you know, and I know we have a guest on. You know, I don't do honorable mentions, but I will say this: it was very difficult with this list because there's so many great matches and places where you grow up as a child and you say, "Oh my gosh, this is crazy," right? When you see the Von Erichs versus the Freebirds, like, dude, that was crazy to watch that match, you know, and to see that. When you talk about Sting and Starrcade in WCW, you know, the Parade of Champions and World Class Wrestling, you know, of course, WrestleMania when that starts, right? And Rocky Maivia, who later became The Rock, you know, when he was introduced, you know,
I remember. Wow, bro. I remember him being Rocky Maivia, bro.
You know what I'm saying? The Hells and the Sales. Like, look, we could do a whole nother podcast just on that. But yeah, man, there's so many that are there, and you may have been a part of the Montreal Screwjob. You know, and we were kind of talking about that when Bret Hart was supposed to, you know, win the championship and actually got screwed over in his home country. And then he made the leap to WCW. Yeah, man, there's so many, but those
everybody's list will be different when it comes to this. Everybody that's a wrestling fan, this is going to be different for every
absolutely. Put your top 5 in the chat. I'd love to see it so we can reminisce and we can say oh man, that's amazing, or you are smoking the dope. Look, thank you so much for joining in. Always have fun. Thank you so much, my guy, Abe Reed. Make sure you check him out. Monday Man Cave on MCXP Radio.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And also, make sure you check out his album, his latest album that is on. Where can they find it?
Y'all can find it on iTunes, Spotify, Deezer, Amazon. It's everywhere, man. Just go out there. Paradigm. Your boy dropping it down, man. Good stuff.
There you go. So make sure you check them out there. Yo, for Big Game and BGSC Network, peace. Appreciate you. Let's go.
Dope. It's a dope groove.
Yeah. It's a big game. Who you know that got it behind the scenes, like behind the O-line, soon as the QB say hype. It's big game, big game. Analysis from the player's point of view.